Okay, teachers, this is the first of the year and the first communication video that I'm going to be sending or providing you with. Um, I'm just using Firefox to capture all of my screen strokes as I go through and show you how to use the communication tool for the first of year, August really, that I'm going to provide you with. So first of all, I had to type into Google results for harried. And you're looking at them, I know. So we don't want you to look like this, or this, or this. So hopefully what I'm going to show you today is going to prevent that. So take a look. I'm going to show you, first of all, the spreadsheet to help you keep track of all the different things you are required to send out, do on the phone, or do in an Illuminate room with your class for the first couple of weeks before school starts. So if you go to Kathy's email, let me pull that up first. Sorry. Whoops. Let's go back. Okay, ignore that. She sends you a class list, okay? And you know what it looks like. And you all should know how to sort this, but I'll go through it quickly if you don't. To get to your class, you're going to want to unselect all of them and go down and choose your name. Hopefully your name's on the list. That will take this down to your class only. Okay, which is what you want. Now, you can save this if you want to on your desktop as your class list. That's fine. Because I'm just going to be pulling some things out of it, I'm not going to do that. But you're free to go in to say save as, and then you would name it here booth class list or whatever you want to do. But for today's purposes, and because we get so many class lists, I mean, they're going to start arriving daily now. I don't feel it's necessary. I just pull out the one she sends onto my desktop off of the email and I have it there. So, but you can do however you'd like. So for the purpose of using the spreadsheet that I'm going to show you, you will need to know how to cut and paste columns into the spreadsheet. So let me show you the spreadsheet and then I'll show you what columns you're going to cut and paste. So I'm going to minimize this down here so it just goes away for a minute and then I'll pull it back up again. Eventually this is what your spreadsheet will look like when it's all filled. This only takes a few seconds. And so let me show you how it's done. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can go to the class list and eliminate all of the columns that you don't need and just have the columns that you do need for purposes of filling out the other spreadsheet. Okay, so what that would look like is you would highlight the column and, let's say I don't need my name, I don't need elementary. I had the student ID on there. I don't need integration just because I'll refer to it. I don't need any of these. I do need the last name and the first name. I don't need the middle name. Let me just check really quick. I had the start date and the phone number and the learning coach name. So it's easy to just go and eliminate all of those columns and then just select what you have left and paste it into this other spreadsheet. Or you can just go row by row and say, okay, I would like to put in the student ID. So I highlight this row. I do a Control C on my computer. So I press down the Control key and the C key, which means copy, and then it makes the column light up like that. Then I would go to my spreadsheet and I would just put it in here under student ID. So I click in the first one and then I would do a Control V and that would plop those in there. So there's two ways you can do it, and if someone has a brilliant suggestion of a better way, I'm all ears, so let me know if you do. So that's what I've done here. So I've copied and pasted the student ID, the last name, the first name, the grade, the start date, their phone number, and the learning coach's name. Now this is just for August's communication. This is going to change when we start using the other communication spreadsheet, which is going to be more related to progress and not so much related to actions that we're going to be taking. Okay, great. So now you've got your list of names and you're ready to start doing what it is you need to do for them over the next, before school starts. And the list is long, and so in order to help you keep track of it, you could go into Total View and have their name up all the time, and or rather have Total View open. But I'm going to assume for the minute especially that new teachers are not going to be as familiar with that, and if they have this, then their mentor teacher can really help them get this information into Total View. So it's kind of consolidating everything you're going to do with a student over the next 2 weeks into one sheet. Okay, so here's what the spreadsheet looks like. So now once you get to, you're going to start taking action with these kids, right? You're going to email, you're going to call, you're going to K-mail, you're going to do all this kind of stuff. Before I do that, I would like to show you, because if you notice when you scroll over to the end, then you've lost the student name, and then you have to go back and go, oh, who was that? Well, there's an easy way in Excel. You would highlight, and for me, I'm just going to do the first two columns. I'm just going to do their ID and the last name. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to do the student ID and their first name and last name, because some of these are new students here. I was thinking I knew all my students, but I don't yet. And I'm going to say I want to freeze some panes, okay? Whoops, to freeze panes. So I clicked over here along this ribbon. It has home, insert page, blah, 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 blah. I clicked on view, and I'm going to freeze panes. And I click on freeze panes, and I select the first one. Now you'll see those lines appear, which is good. That's what we wanted. Because now I can scroll through this spreadsheet, and I'm not going to lose, if you'll look over here, I'm not going to lose any of this locked information, which is good. I didn't want to, okay? So that's going to be helpful as you go about doing your spreadsheet work, because otherwise you wouldn't see their first name, and that would be really hard, okay? So now I'm going to go back up to the first student's name and show you what I've done so far. Let me just fix this for a second. So sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to go back, and I called Xander Atkinson, and he was home. Okay, now he received the welcome email yesterday, which was the 3rd, and I haven't logged it in Total View yet, but I'm going to, because remember, it must be logged in Total View for all eyes in our school to be able to see that it's been done. And I also highlighted him green, because green means to me that he's done. And the way you highlight a student in green, that's just optional. You don't have to do that, but it gives me a quick visual of who's done and who's not. You go to home, and then there's a little paint can, right? And you highlight the cell that you want to. I'm going to change it back to white just so you can see. You highlight the cell, and then you say, no, he's done, so I want him to be green, right? And then you click on the green. This all red person, I did call them, but I got an answering machine, okay? So I put them as yellow. And anyone's white, I haven't done anything with them yet. So you can see I have 2, I'm batting 50% here. Not too good, but hope it gets better. But I'm just starting with my students that are returning students, because those calls go pretty quickly right now. But I would also go over here to, so if you notice, let's just take a look at these headers for a second at the top of these columns. All right, that's all of these all the way across. And they are all the actions you're supposed to be taking over the next 2 weeks. Following each action is whether or not you logged it in Total View. I'm going to talk about how to mark that in just a second. But so because I've completed Xander's phone action that was required, which was his welcome call, I'm going to go to the column that says phone action, and I'm going to click welcome call. He's done. He's received his welcome call. He's good. I have not logged it in TotalView. I plan to today. As soon as I do that, I'm going to put the date, and there's a quick key on Excel for putting the date in, and it's Control semicolon, and that pops in whatever today's date is. So it's a quick way of getting the date. Again, you could just type the date in, no big deal, but it's fun to learn quick keys. And that was Control, hold the Control key down, and hold the semicolon, and that will pop the date in. So he's done. Let's look at Sarah Peter Balcazar. He's kind of a different one. So he received the welcome email. He probably shouldn't have, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. I haven't logged it in TotalView, so I'm not going to put that there. And in fact, I'm going to take this one out until I do it because I don't want to be fibbing about these kind of things. So I'm going to go over here. He also received a phone call, and I did do the welcome call, so I'm going to put that on. But then I have a notes section because Peter's learning coach said they have moved. All right, they're in California. So they're not in our school anymore. And the reason it's good to have those notes is because I'm going to have to inform Tammy of that because they don't know that. They assumed he was attending our school. All right, so now you've kind of seen that these have drop downs. Now there's a lot of K-mail ones. Why? Because there's a lot of K-mails we're going to send out. We're going to send out a day 1, a day 2, and you'll see by the drop down the different ones. And every day that you send it, you need to note here that you sent it. So the first one should be day 1, right? The second one should be day 2 if we're doing it in order, etc., all the way down. Now, I didn't say logged in TotalView because I think that's a bit much. I think we just need to log in TotalView 1 that all the welcome K-mails were sent. And so that's why it only has one logged in TotalView box. Okay? So let's take a look. You've seen the email choices. You've seen, and you will. This will be on the share site. You can download the template form yourself and use it. But the contact ones, that's the other kind of context that we're going to have. And we'll explain these a little bit better. So when you get this and you see them, you'll understand what these mean. But this is contact that's not K-mail, and it's not email, and it's not phone. It includes things like the welcome assembly, the welcome packet, because we want to make sure that we're logging all of that good stuff that we're keeping track of who we're doing it for, and that we're logging it in TotalView. Okay, so it's not too complicated. It's simple, but I used it last year, and I was able to keep track easily and quickly of the status of everyone in my class for this 2 weeks. That can become a little bit confusing, and I'll pull it and let you know. We don't want you to be this, right? Or really, we don't want you to be this or this. So you can be this. That would be fine. But I hope it's going to help you. And if you have any questions at all about using it, or you see something that's amiss, what needs to be changed, I'll show you one more thing. Over here, the tab is called August because this is an August communication log. On this, you won't want to go in and try and change anything here. This will change the drop downs on here. So just a tab, that's for use, spreadsheet use only. Don't change anything. There shouldn't be any problem with changing anything right here. And this will be the first communication log that we send to, let him know what we're doing, what we've done, and we'll make it really easy for you to keep track of what it is you're doing with students. There even is a place on the phone log for if you returned a call, a message, or if the phone has been disconnected, because you're going to run into those. Pretty common, actually, some of those. So anyway, this is your tool, and it's called, this will be called, let me pull it up so you can see it. If you look, pointing to it with my arrow, it's AugCommlog, going to be called the template. And then for you, with your information, you should use underscore with your teacher's last name. Really easy. When it's sent to John, there'll be an alphabetical order. Find who he needs to look at, click on it, and see what's up with the communication. We know that sometimes total view is low, and that means you've got where you're recording information, so that if you happen to be in total view and it's not working, and it's not going to be, if it wasn't logged in total view, it didn't happen. Everything happens. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your attention and time. Give me a call if you need it, and good luck.